What the fuck is going on, YouTube? Hope everybody's having a absolutely wonderful Friday. Getting ready for the weekend. Hope you all have some plans going on. But let's get right into it, guys. It's been an interesting couple of days on YouTube. I'm sure some of you guys have heard about the Idubbbz situation going on. And for any of you guys my age, or maybe a little bit younger, a little bit older, sort of grew up watching this guy, at least me, going through high school. I watched him all the fucking time. I looked forward to one of his videos coming out and really enjoyed everything that he put out. Thought it was fucking hilarious. I mean, I used to get stoned with one of my best buddies in high school and hang out overnight at his house on the weekend and watch Content Cops. Just absolutely reefed out of my mind. And it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in probably my entire life. And as I'm sure most of you guys know, there hasn't been a Content Cop since the one on Rice Gum, which I think was like, 2016 or something like that. So it's been a long fucking time, guys. It's been definitely a long time. But yeah, I'm sure most of you guys have seen the apology video going around. I know it's been talked about a lot, but I figured I'd just give my piece on it and sort of see. I've only seen a few minutes of it. I'm not really gone through the whole thing. It is a longer video. So I think we should react to it today. You guys can hear my opinion and let me know in the comments what you guys all think about it, and yeah, let's get right into it.
For a while, I felt like if I changed my content over time, that people would see that as a reflection of who I am and what I value. But I'm starting to realize that that is a very weak and passive way to, run my channel and live my life. So I think it's, if I'm going to have the balls to go to Tana's fan meetup and say slurs at her and then make a video about how it's okay to say slurs, I think I should have the balls to make an apology video.
I thought the whole premise of that video was that it doesn't matter. Like, obviously it's not okay to say slurs, but his whole premise was the context the slurs are being used in, right? Right? And Tana being, basically a hypocrite.
And take accountability for the mistakes I've made. So that's what this video is. I've realized that I need to be crystal clear about what I believe, so there's no room for ambiguity. I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel. And I've also created a culture of apathy and a lot of cruelty as well. Some of the videos I've made have been very not edgy. I don't think they some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. So I don't want people to get it confused about where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are Content Cop videos.
So he's talking about just the Content Cop videos, right? If you think about it, who were the Content Cop videos made on? Right? Were they made on amazing people? Were they made on people that probably didn't deserve the shit that he said in the Content Cop videos? They probably did deserve it. These were not nice people and just normal people that he was talking about in the Content Cops. He was talking about scum. The scum of the internet. And he was brutally making fun of the scum on the internet. I don't think that is necessarily a bad thing, and maybe to some people it is, but I mean, in my opinion, I really don't think it was that bad of a thing. The Content Cops came with some very valid points. If you go past all just the straight up bullying and personal attacks or whatever, the Content Cops came up with some very valid points on why these people were shitty and terrible people. You know, it's not like we were making fun of just some random okay good YouTubers and you know just absolutely personally attacking them because you know he thought they looked ugly or whatever it was. These were shitty people that he's making fun of. So I understand that it's cruel. Yeah, okay, it's cruel, but the shit that a lot of these YouTubers did was also fucking cruel. And he's just making fun of and bringing those things to light. In my opinion.
And videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and you know, obviously didn't have any accountability online whatsoever on my end. I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making content cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also
What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the people that he made the content cops on it, and if anybody that doesn't know, Tanamongu, Leafy is here, Keemstar, you know, I'm missing a couple because I don't remember all of them, but those were the big ones. And let me tell you, watching those people definitely fucking deserved it, bro. I'm telling you right now, they deserved it. I mean, you go and watch the video. You go and watch the content cop. He's literally putting in clips of those people he's talking about bullying and being cruel to other people in his video. So yeah, he's being cruel, but he's being cruel to a cruel person. And I get that two wrongs don't make a right, but I mean, come on, guys. At a certain point, you know, someone's got to say something. And if it's rude and mean, who gives a fuck, man? If you don't want people to shit on you, then don't just go around bullying other people and shitting on other people if you don't want to be shit on yourself. I mean, it's just common sense, right?
indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty. I am very insecure about my ability to create interesting content or like entertain. It's gotten better over the years, but it's something that I have struggled with constantly, and it's one of the reasons why I, kept making this hurtful content. I ended up pivoting it into other things because I felt bad about it, like innately. But it's still something that I struggle with, and I don't want you to interpret that as an excuse, but I hope that that is relatable to other creators who maybe struggle with the same thing. I'm not confident in my ability to entertain, and I think if I had to rely on my personality to entertain people, that I wouldn't.
Bro, it's literally he's acting like all his only content are the content cops. Like, did nobody else, like, the whole bad thing about the bad unboxing was this guy's fucking personality. That's what made those videos funny, was his personality. When Idubbbz was going through like sewer drains and eating pickles and fucking moldy strawberries and shit, that was part of his personality. That shit was funny. It was entertaining. And he's acting like his only content was the shit of him making fun of people, which was the very lesser amount of his content.
Wouldn't have any amount of success, and that is really hard to come to terms with. I was being very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because I didn't think it was too serious, and I thought that people were going to see that I had good intentions, but that's so silly. Casual racism is still racism, casual bigotry is still bigotry. And, I said a lot of things.
Yeah, I agree with the racism part. He didn't have to say the racial slurs. He still could have gotten his point across without having to, make that shit seem okay. I get that.
That I look back at and I cringe now, and I'm like, that is an awful thing to say. It doesn't matter what my intentions are. Like, if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people. And, who the fuck knows what my intentions are? Like, sarcasm and, like...
So, if someone is bullying, like, say you're in high school, right? And someone is bullying the shit out of some smaller kid or whatever the case may be, you don't think that it's okay to go out of your way to bully the person bullying that person if it helps the greater good and stops that person from bullying other people? That's the point I'm getting at, is that yeah, it's not okay to bully, right? But sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Right? You don't bully good people for no fucking reason, but you bully the people that bully the good people. That's my opinion.
Jokiness and jokey tone only goes so far, especially over the internet. Even in real life, that's like an impossible thing to know with 100% certainty. I've just always had this dumb philosophy that I'm not responsible for, my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out. And that's stupid. And it's led to a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes.
Huh. I mean, that's interesting, right? Because, are you responsible for what your fan base does? To me, in my opinion, like I said, all of this is just my opinion, is that if you create a piece of content that is hating on somebody, but you're not directly telling your audience, yo, go into this person's Twitch chat and hate on them, or go into their YouTube comments and shit on them all day long, right? It's probably going to happen. You're going to have people who are losers that have no time but to go and make fun of other people. But I mean, me personally, I've watched those videos. I do not like Tana Mongeau. I don't like fucking Keemstar. And I don't like them because of the fucking content cops back in the day. I barely watch fucking Keemstar's content. Every time I've seen like a little bit of it, I'm like, yeah, okay, this guy's kind of an asshole. But I don't go out of my way to comment on his video and say, yo, Keemstar, you're ugly. Or, you're fat and you're old. You know what I mean? I just say, oh yeah, I don't like this guy, so I don't watch his content. Yeah, some people are going to go out of their way and say some hurtful shit. But regardless of whether you tell them to or not, people are going to make fun of people. That's the way the fucking world is. You're going to get made fun of if you do something that, is going to make you get made fun of. That's just my opinion, Like I said, all this is my opinion. I'm not trying to offend anybody by saying this, right? I get it that he's saying that I'm guessing he's maturing, I guess is what the whole thing is, right? But to say that he didn't mean that shit or it's hurtful to other people, yeah, it's hurtful, but for what reason was it hurtful?
And I just want to make it clear that I am absolutely responsible for my audience. And,
I disagree with that. I don't think you're responsible for everything your audience does.
Look out for people who are red flags. It's definitely people who had my...
You're responsible if you directly call for them to go and do something. If you say, yeah, go make fun of this person, then yeah, you're responsible. But you can't be responsible for criticizing somebody, and then because you criticize them, people from your audience shits on them. That's just the way the world works.
Mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does. I know that this apology isn't enough. I've clearly done a lot of damage. These videos have been up for a long time and have accumulated millions of views. I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with. And I expect...
Well, I wonder, what caused him to go and make this video? Has this shit actually been, sort of creeping up on him, and he actually, he's thinking about it frequently, and that's what's causing him to come out and create this? Or did someone, push him to sort of make this video?
I've profited off of this bigoted content for years, and I've made a successful career out of it, and that's not right. I think that this is only a step in the right direction, and I know that a lot more needs to be done to even approach a life that I would think would be like acceptable. I am running ads on this video, and any revenue generated from this video I'm going to match and donate to an organization that would have been particularly affected by the type of rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel. And again, this isn't the end of what I'm doing.
What?
This is just
What is it, like a bullying charity? Is that what he's talking about?
the start. I don't feel like a lot of this content represents me as a person, at least not anymore. There was a time where it probably perfectly represented me because I was a nasty, apathetic, insecure person. Now that I don't feel like it represents me and I want to distance myself from it and keep it from, indoctrinating more people, I'd like to unlist the videos so that people, can access them still for whatever, purposes they might want to do that for. But it's not being proliferated on the website. I feel like that's the best solution, at least for the time being. And for anyone who liked those videos, I want this video to be an example and a lesson for you. You can like content, but you can also think that it's irresponsible and it's hurting other people. So just tap into that.
But did it need to be said about those people? Yes, it's hurtful. Okay, it didn't need to be said. It didn't necessarily have to be said. Okay, but it wasn't necessarily a bad thing that it was said. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, didn't we come out and say that? Didn't he come out and say that Leafy was bullying all like these just fucking smaller YouTubers and making fun of all these different people? So what is wrong with making fun of someone who's an asshole? You know what I mean? If they're an asshole, then what's wrong with that? You make fun of them. What are we talking about here?
Part of your brain that's saying like, oh, okay.
Like if Idubbbz broke both of his legs and lost all of his subscribers, I would be genuinely happy. That's who we're making fun of. Tana Mongeau said that. If Idubbbz broke both of his legs and lost all of his subscribers, she would be genuinely happy. This was before the content cop was made.
Okay. It's probably not that important that this video stays online because truthfully, I've seen it, I've experienced the content, but it's done a lot of damage. We can just let it go. I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, and that's fine, but I can recognize...
Okay, so see, that's exactly my fucking point. Why don't you like them? That's what the whole thing that the content cop was about, is why you didn't like them. You know what I mean?
Did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way. I particularly want to apologize to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online. And that's deplorable behavior. It's so stupid. I'm also sorry to all the black viewers and minority groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, the phrases. I said either it's all okay.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. That part of the video is racist. I mean, there's not a whole lot to go on with that. It was. I mean, it didn't have to be said. It definitely didn't need to be said. So, I mean, I understand where he's coming from there. But that is the only thing wrong with that video. Everything else is perfectly fine. Because Tana herself, if what he's saying is racist, right? Then Tana is also a racist. That's what I'm getting at.
None of it's okay.
So he's apologizing.
So
he's apologizing to her, but she is still a racist. If he's a racist, she's a racist. We have equality, right? So I mean, that's equality.
Dangerous and stupid. I have made content that I am proud of over the years. It hasn't been as consistent as maybe I'd like it to have been, but there is a lot of content that I think had a net positive on the world, and I'm going to strive to continue on that trend. But again, I'm absolutely going to continue to make mistakes, but I want the mistakes to be a lot smaller and a lot less serious. I also want to give some clarity to the post-fight speech that I gave. I mean, it wasn't a speech. It was a phrase. I was like,
I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I really do appreciate the support, and thank you for coming.
Damn, that's hard to see.
Addressing the people over the years that I neglected and I left behind. The people whose feelings I, didn't take into consideration. Those are the people who I was addressing as, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Anyone who thinks that I should be shouting the N-word from the rooftops, I don't want to be your cup of tea. Now I want to talk about
that's just weird.
And situations that have happened over the past 5 years of my life that have led me to the place I'm at now. One year I was at a convention and a bunch of fans were, wanting pictures, and this particular fan came up to me and said, I know you probably don't like transgender people, but can I, get a picture? That smacked me in the face. I was like, oh, holy shit. Why would you think that? But I mean, it was fairly obvious. I was being cruel, hateful, bigoted, and being very uncaring about people's feelings. That is a very fair assessment to make. I was giving this person bad vibes, and I think I've given a lot of people extremely bad vibes. Another event that was very important for me to experience was I went on a boxing podcast. I was basically trying to walk back my Tana content cop. I was still very insecure and uncomfortable with the fact that I made that video, and but I was still coping. You'll see me struggle in this clip to say that it was wrong.
So I just wanted to let you talk on that, right? Because obviously using the N-word is definitely frowned upon by a lot of people, especially by a non-African American, but I was just curious.
That was a very weird video because I wanted to criticize her for her sort of flagrant use of it. I've been pretty flagrant about it too, not in the same way. Mm-hmm. I thought there was a message to be shared there. And I don't
see, but do you just hear that? He's reiterating that it's not in the same way. So is he really sorry about it? Or is he justifying it here, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I wanted to criticize her for her sort of flagrant use of it. I've been pretty flagrant about it too, not in the same way. Mm-hmm. I thought there was a message to be shared there, and I don't think it was particularly. It was okay in criticizing her, but I think I probably wasn't the person to deliver the message, if that makes sense. There was a message that I was trying to put out there, and I'm not really the person to put out that message. I don't regret making the video. I think there's bits and pieces to take from it that I think are valuable and make it these days. I'm very grateful to those guys and how they broached the subject because it didn't put me on the defensive. It just made me realize I'm stupid and I really need to acknowledge these things. What am I doing? I'm still trying to make excuses for myself and why I made that video. It's it was a dumb idea. I harassed someone. I was saying slurs and I was trying to justify it all. A very big thing that has sort of altered my view on all of this is just the amount of hate and harassment my wife Anissa has received over the years. She's had to deal with it from the beginning of our relationship, and I have done a horrible job at acknowledging her and her feelings for it. A lot of the time I just thought that was her problem, or that was other people's problem. It's not my problem that you're getting hate and harassment, and it's no, it absolutely is.
So I don't know anything about that, but maybe a little bit. But isn't that all that stemming from her having an OnlyFans, and going that route of making income by basically exposing yourself to millions of people? I'm guessing that's where the hate's coming from. I don't know if that's exactly everything, if there's more to it than that, but that's what I'm not saying it's okay or anything. I'm just saying that I think that's where it's coming from, right?
Is, you know, that's the culture that I cultivated, and I, you know, didn't do anything to change that. You know, over the years it's changed a little bit, but you know, I don't think I've still fully acknowledged how responsible I am for the amount of harassment that Anissa has had to deal with. And this year I decided to speak more candidly and be more open about who I am as a person and to speak on my life a little bit more. And I did that on Anthony Padilla's podcast. These are the people that I'm attracting. These are the people that I'm entertaining. Like, I need to reevaluate things. They're relating and enjoying this content for a reason, and that's not maybe the same reason that I'm trying to make.
Is the majority of Idubbbz's viewers actually like just fucked up weirdos? Because when I'm reading the comments and shit on this video in particular, I mean, let's look at the comments. Let's actually look at the comments here. I would never have guessed that his final content cop would be on himself. Okay, fair point. Props to the dude who predicted he content cop himself. Okay, same shit. I will say most of the people that were featured on Content Cop did deserve it. I mean, say what you want about Leafy now, but back then he was actually bullying people. I hope Ian enjoys making his new content. I will definitely watch some of it. That doesn't seem weird to me. That doesn't seem like a fucked up audience who's you know, acting super weird and being fucked to people, right? Listen, Idubbbz, we want to see you eat peaches in a sewer and moldy strawberries from the dumpster. You don't gotta say the N-word at all. I mean, I think that's the general opinion that everybody fucking has, right? Is that we all just want to see, like, the good old days of Idubbbz. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the equivalent of what he had back then, but it's gotta be somewhere close to that, right? I mean, it's a certain level of humor that we all enjoyed, right? And a lot of it was not giving a fuck. But I mean, yeah, how dare you criticize angels like Keemstar, Rice Gum, and Leafy? Like, come on, guys. Rice Gum. I totally forgot about fucking Rice Gum, bro. Rice Gum literally was making fun of people, you know, who were victims of sexual assault. Right? And we're going back on saying that, oh yeah, these aren't good videos. These are great fucking videos that needed to be said. Somebody had to say it. I mean, come on, guys. You can't leave these guys sitting on a pedestal like this and then not make fun of them. And, you know, basically expose the shitty things that they're doing. I think everyone would agree Keemstar deserved the content cop. Boom. Yes, I do agree. Bad unboxings, amazing videos, super hilarious. Nothing really, you know, terrible or hurtful in those videos. They're just classic Idubbbz. You know what I mean? They're classic Idubbbz videos. I think that's what everybody wants to see. If there's never a content cop made again, I don't think anyone really is going to care. You know what I mean? But if someone, you know, someone will take up the mantle, and when someone does something that's horrible and shitty, there's going to be someone out there to criticize them, and that will probably make a viral video, and everybody's going to watch it. So if Idubbbz isn't doing it, somebody will. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Like I said, most of these comments seem fairly positive. I don't see a lot of like just weird shit here of like, oh yeah, like you got to be worried about these people going around and just hating on somebody for no reason. I really don't see that at all. But you know what, guys? I think we're going to end it there. I don't think I want to keep going through all of this. He's just sort of backtracking and you know, apologizing. I mean, that's what this is, right? It's just apologizing for the old shit. So, all right, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you want, you can follow me on my socials. They'll also be linked in the description. I stream pretty well Monday, Wednesday, Friday from like 7 to 11. So So if you guys want to see me, I play all different kinds of games, horror games, GTA, Sea of Thieves. It's probably one of the bigger ones I'm playing right now. But if any of that shit, you know, is appealing to you, then yeah, definitely come watch it. All right? Peace the fuck out.